Hey, how y'all doing? Almost all people take part in a conscious subterfuge at the start of any interaction, whether that's in a dating scenario or like a first date or maybe going for a job interview. And it doesn't always have to be as extreme. You might have heard of the term love bombing, where someone deliberately tries to. This is a bit more deliberate, where they're trying to sort of act in, the best person possible, and they start mirroring the other person and things like that. It doesn't have to be extreme as that, but I think everyone, upon meeting someone for the first time, tries to put the best foot forward, and they want to create a good impression, and that's fine. It's almost like you're trying to create a halo effect, a good halo effect with that person. Um, but I think you've got to watch how far you go with it, because if you're doing things that you wouldn't normally do, let's say you're splashing out on an expensive restaurant, it's a first date, or you're buying a really expensive bottle of wine, or it might be like, you're going to cook and you don't really like to cook, but you're going to pretend to be a good cook just to kind of, show this person how great you are. It's almost like anything that's trying to say, I'm all that you want. The problem with that is you set a bar that then you're expected to repeat the next time round. And what you often see, and it's quite well known, is that, you get to know someone after about 3 to 6 months. They might be putting on a bit of an act to good behavior at the start, and then that slowly tails away. Or they might be sort of super flashy, taking you out on expensive dates and things, and then it starts to tail off after a bit. And that's because, they're trying to impress in the initial period, but it's not sustainable. And you might have to do that. Maybe, your life's not quite where it is, or you've not quite got the resources and you're trying to pretend to be that kind of person. But the problem is, can you sustain it? So what can you do about that? So let's say, you are where you are. You could just go into the interaction and just act completely genuine. So if you're not a good cook, don't pretend to be a cook, that type of thing. Or if you're not used to going to fancy restaurants, don't go to a fancy restaurant. You could take that approach, but I also think it's okay to go a little bit higher than you usually would just to impress. I think that's fine, providing that, here's the rule, if you can maintain it. So is it actually okay for you to pretend to be better than you are on a first interaction? I think it is, providing that it's just an incremental step. And you can actually use aiming that little bit higher as almost like a little goal achievement for you to step up to. So let's say you meet a new person and you want to step up in your life in terms of the situations that you do. Maybe it's a skill like cooking, as I say, or you may want to dine at a particular restaurant that you wouldn't usually, but you want that to be your new self. If the level of which you pick up to is not too high, then you can use it as a goal achievement exercise for you to step up into. So just let's take the cooking example. You know that you've got to improve your diet and you want to start cooking healthily and things like that. On that first date, if you cook a healthy meal and it's impressive, then as long as you know you can repeat that, use that as a way to improve your life. So as long as it's a small marginal goal, use that. And then one of the good things that you can do with this is, once you then change yourself and you start learning how to cook, and you've used this meeting a new person as a way to learn how to cook, what about if you even got even better at cooking and better? So this new person, not only do they see you with a slight improvement in your life, but maybe they can see you continuously improve because you keep raising the standards, raising the bar as you're with them. As long as that bar that you're raising isn't ridiculous, you're not trying to go from, say, eating at McDonald's to eating at a 2 Michelin starred restaurant or something like this in one jump. You might go from McDonald's to the Michelin starred restaurant in several jumps. To the McDonald's, you go to a local pub or something like this, and you go to like a nicer restaurant, then in a city or whatever. I'm using that example, or in the cooking example, you might start with, well, I can't cook at all, to cooking something really basic like a pasta dish, and then going to something a bit more extravagant, maybe like a curry or something, and then going to something really nice like a baking or something. Who knows? But you can use it as a way to incrementally improve your life. Another example of this is in the workplace. So let's say in the workplace, you're going to go for a new job. Now, you always want to rise up with a new job. You want a better job. So what a lot of people do is embellish a CV. Again, I think it's okay to embellish your CV a little bit if you know you've got all the skills to actually achieve that. Some people will be a bit on the fence about this, but if you're going to go for a job, I think a lot of it, if you've, let's say this job requires 2 years of experience in a particular role and you've got a year and a half or whatever, but you know you've got the skills to do it, I think in that case it's okay to embellish just to get the job because you know you're going to learn on the job. As long as you're not ridiculously overstating things or claiming to have qualifications that you don't have, you're not doing any harm by just overstating your experience, particularly if you've got the skills. So as long as you can deliver it, that's fine. And it's same in the dating sense as well. As long as you can deliver that meal and you can repeat it and you can use it to improve, that is fine too. It's all levels, incremental improvement. So yeah, if you use this as a way to incrementally improve, I think it's a good thing and it'll actually do you a favor, you know. So yeah, if you're not used to splashing out on fancy bottles of wine or fancy bottles of champagne, then don't do that, but maybe get a nice wine and that's fine. And then from that point, start drinking nicer wine. So yeah, maybe meeting a new person, you use that as an opportunity to improve yourself all the way around. That might be better manners or something like this, or just cutting out certain habits. It actually can be a good thing. You can make some changes there and then. As long as they're not huge changes, they're just small, incremental changes, I think you're fine, and it'll be a good exercise to use it for that purpose. All right? Let me know what you think in the comments. Hope you enjoyed it. See you all next time.